It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Ay, I've been waiting for something for me to snap on. Graduated from the freestyle, stay with a cap on. Black on, been in my publishing for these rap songs. Making whack nigga back off, let the cash grow. 5 in the morning, I'm up with my baby, no sleeping. Clown niggas, y'all Barnum and Bailey, I'm creeping. Got an army with me, nah, it's a Navy, so y'all better pay me like K-Dot, them arms to be waving. I had a couple brushes with devils, quiet as kelp. I'm charging for air, you boys talk under your breath. God is my witness, he with me, and he counting my steps. So anybody riding with me, y'all should double your bets. I chose W's, like Aisha Wilson out this bitch. Nigga argue about the gold, I want a Billy out there, bitch. I been counting more cheese like a Philly in this shit. A verse hard white like I'm breaking down a brick. Ratchet on me like the repo man. They done brought me back to life like Encino man. Ran off with the yams like an elope man. I got dealt with the chip, I'm the Frito man. I want millions, Benzes, numbers up senses. Nigga try to count me out, now I want vengeance. 100 rat taught me how to run it back. Clemson, all I do is work in my city, I need pension. Somebody said it'd be disrespectful to rap on it. I'm by business, y'all niggas ain't got the acumen. Immaculate, I've been adamant with these savages. The flow is so extravagant, extrapolating arrogance. That ain't even drop yet. Bitch, I got plans too. Nigga wanna scrap about it, bitch, I got hands too. Yeah, man, got a nigga twisted like a can too. I clean them out like shampoo. I pity y'all some damn fools. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there today. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Before we get into the show, I want to go ahead and send RIP to Irv Gotti. Condolences to his family. They've been going through a rough time. He's definitely been going through a rough time with health and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? The last couple of days, people have been speculating about what his health condition, was going to be, if he was going to make it, if he was going to survive. Unfortunately, he has passed away. Music producer, business, music entrepreneur, filmmaker, producer, executive producer, the whole nine. So rest in peace to Irv Gotti. We may talk further about that at a later time, but I just wanted to send respect out there. At the top of this video. Since we're here, we're talking about hip-hop. We're going to get into a lot of hip-hop related topics as we get into Kendrick Lamar and his Super Bowl, pre-lead up interview. All right, the big interview with Apple Music, the NFL, Ebro Dart, and Nadeska. Shout out to all of them. And we're actually going to go ahead and play the entire interview, go through some of the talking points. I'm going to pause it here and there just to give extra commentary and things of that nature. By now, I would have expected most people to have already seen the interview. I caught the majority of it, but I was a little bit, out and about earlier today. So we're about to run this thing, see what they're talking about, see what types of questions they ask. From what I did see, it looked like they did a good job of, not playing it overly safe. They did ask a little bit about Kendrick in the process of the last year and like the transformation artistically and musically that he went through. And of course, people took pieces of that and made it like he was speaking on Drake or, the mindset in going up against Drake. Again, he did talk about battle rap. He did talk about a lot of different things, but we're going to get there. Let me go ahead and pull up the interview, and hopefully we don't get no issues from the powers that be with this thing. If not, it'll just live on Patreon, and we'll cut it up for YouTube purposes. But y'all know how I go over here. Give me a second.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Kendrick, it's a little bit surreal to actually see you in the flesh because you've always made it a point of just letting the music speak for yourself, which is something I really respect. But the spotlight has been shining so brightly on you for the past few months. I've just been wondering how you've been processing behind the scenes, how you've been feeling about everything happening, all the success.
It's just really just I want to look at it like it's just a continuum of who I am, really. I've always stayed to myself. I've always been in my own bubble, whether it's with the fam or whether it's training. How I process it all is just, I continue to do what I was doing 10 years ago, and that's like, be better in myself, better in the craft, and not look at it as bright lights, Mm-hmm. And it may sound cliche, but it always worked for me, even when I was younger, playing sports or being in the forefront of presentations and stuff like that, it was like, I gotta look at myself in the mirror rather than looking at it as a crowd or, fame and attention.
So now, early days of your career, Section 80 days, even early mixtapes, and you perfecting your craft as an MC. Did you ever think we'd be at the Super Bowl with this?
I wasn't thinking about no Super Bowl.
You never thought about the Super
I
Bowl
wasn't
with
thinking
this?
about no Super Bowl for sure. We was thinking about the best verse and how we gonna split this $5 at Church's Chicken or something like that. It wasn't no Super Bowl. Going to the studio and getting a meal. But I think, what I know is the passion I have now is still the passion I had then. And I think that carried on to the Super Bowl. So it was all about being present. As long as I was present in the studio and present in whatever that line was or whatever that mistake was, rapping or doing hooks or choruses or whatnot, I was present in that moment. I felt that passion. I think being present and not actually foreseeing everything kept me in the grounded state of mind in order to be at, big stages like this.
I do want to take a quick little pause right there. I appreciate that question, referencing the Section 80 and the mixtape era and all of that stuff that he had undergone before he became this big star that he is today. And I love the answer where he's talking about, how the Super Bowl wasn't something that they had ever even thought about, never foreseen, and how far he's come since that time. And to be honest, there's not too many artists. Y'all feel free to let me know in the comments how many artists y'all know of in the music industry that from day one up to year, really 20 of him being like active on the scene. Because 2005, that was J-Rock time, but he was like the hype man and he was doing mixtapes and stuff on his own. But how many artists you see 20 years in the game that are still passionate about the craft? A lot of motherfuckers get lazy. We're gonna keep it a whole 100 over here. And it's a whole list of casualties we could name on that list if we decided to go through it. A lot of motherfuckers get lazy, they get complacent, they get content, and they start phoning it in. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like for me, Kendrick is still as passionate today as he was when he first got in. Now his I think that his approach to music and although it probably has changed a little bit because of experience and knowing how to, it's kind of like I won't even compare it to anything. You get in the studio, you find your comfort levels and things of that nature. And when you're at that level, you got to find ways to stretch yourself out of your comfort level to where you don't just keep making the same stuff or saying the same things or even presenting your imagery in the same way. Again, there's not a lot of people 20 years in that still remain invigorated about the craft, the music making process, and everything surrounding that. So I do want to salute him on that because I don't think he gets enough credit for that fact. I think we look at Kendrick like, because he's been so consistent over the years in who he is, how he raps, the way that he approaches his music, that we look at him like he's still the 25-year-old Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? But truthfully, homie is about to hit 40 and he's still in stride to where nobody else can fuck with him. And we see that when he decides to endeavor with features, he's still the standout nigga on anybody's song. That's a testament to his work ethic. I just wanted to get that out the way and say that and appreciate that for what it is, because I don't know if we typically take the time out to really like see that for what it is.
I think we felt that presence and that focus in your work for the past 15 years. Like Ebro said, going all the way back to projects like Overly Dedicated. And so seeing you perform with Dr. Dre at the halftime show 3 years ago, we already felt like that was the most hip-hop beautiful halftime show ever. And now for you to come back and be the first solo hip-hop artist to headline, how does it feel being the artist to hit that milestone? And, just your thoughts on what that means about hip-hop's progression and impact over the years.
But that shit, it made me think about, like, the grind of it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't see, like, the story before the glory, man. And that shit is like shuffling out your mixtapes and, going to neighborhoods and parties and performing there, hole-in-the-wall spots. it reminds me of the essence and the core response of rap and hip hop and how far it can go. So for me, that should mean everything because it puts the culture on the forefront where it needs to be and not minimized to just a catchy song or verse. This is a true art form. So to represent it on this type of stage is like everything that I've worked for and everything that I believe in as far as the culture. Like I live and die by it. This shit done changed my whole family life, so I don't take it for granted at all as far as an art form, you know?
Once again, I appreciate that answer. And when he talks about those early days, the mixtapes, getting your shit together, going to the parties, the hole in the walls, a lot of people don't understand. Like even that right there takes a mindset shift to get into that space to go do that, right? Because it's one thing to get on stage, perform, get off stage, go home. But if you're an artist and you actually live through the physical media aspect of music and had to like get together your CDs, right? Or flash drives or your flyers and you're passing this stuff out. Like you literally have to go outside. You got to walk up to people. You figure out your introduction. You got to try to hand people some shit that you put your heart and soul into and your creativity into. And you want the whole world to respect that and appreciate that. But in that moment, it ain't about the whole world. It's about you and that person or that group of people standing in front of you that you got to get to try to meet your quota for the day to say, man, I got to get at least 50 of these bitches off, or I got to get, you know what I'm saying? And successfully put it in somebody's hand in hopes that they're going to actually get in their car, turn that bitch on, look at it, follow you on social media, see what you got going on and read into who you are. Like, I don't think everybody, if you don't do something in the creative field where you have to actually like go give strangers something of yours, maybe if you do like community work, you understand what it is. Cause even though it ain't necessarily your thing, you're still forced to go out and like be hand to hand with people and like figure out how to talk to people and get them interested in whatever your cause is. So like doing volunteer work and shit like that is also kind of like a similar thing. But when it's your art that you put time into creating, you know, listening hours upon hours to get it right, and then you go in and you're approaching people and they like, no, I don't want that. You know, you walk in their direction and they start going the other way because they like, oh shit, this motherfucker about to bother me. You know what I mean? And to take it from that standpoint to being on the biggest stage, the Super Bowl, yeah, that's a crazy experience that again, not too many people in this world will ever or have ever experienced. So shout out to Kendrick, man. This is dope.
It feels like that was a lot what this year was about too, right? Like you, I guess, you know, you took it and put it on your back and you felt like a line needed to be drawn, right? Was that your intent when you rolled out this year? Was like, yo, I'm drawing a line. Like, this is what it is.
My intent was to always keep, I think from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. You know, I don't care how motherfuckers look at it as far as like, as a collaborative effort, you know, that's cool too, but I love when artists grit their teeth. Like I still watch battle raps. I still watch Smack URL from Murder Mook to Lux to Tay-Rock, you know, my bro Daylight. This has always been the core definition of who I am, and it's been that way since day one. So I don't think it was a thing for this year. It was always just a continuum. And what I will say about this year, it was more from a space where I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back, and you didn't see that. You didn't see that grit. You didn't see that bite anymore. So I always took that in consideration in going into any type of my music.
Real quick, I'm not going to take too long and be long-winded, but I appreciate him pointing out the fact that people have been putting rap to the back. If y'all can remember, back in 2023, the big conversation was hip-hop was fading. Hip-hop was declining in sales. Hip-hop was declining in priority at the labels. Hip-hop was beginning to lose its stronghold as the most important or most influential brand of music in the industry. And we saw with 2024 and coming into 25 how that shifted. So I appreciate people like the Kendricks, the Tylers. I'll give Drake because he participated in the battle that kept us tuned in. The Schoolboys, the Absols, everybody that's contributed good music along the way. The ladies, you know what I'm saying? Megan, Glow, they definitely did their stuff too. Lotto, Doechii. It's been a whole culmination. So I do appreciate that part of it as well, that hip hop was facing a definite crossroads, and we've kind of pulled it up out of that margin, at least for now.
That's interesting. So I hope this makes sense, right? You know, we've been following your journey for about 15 years, and you have been so consistent in the messaging and the focus, like you said, and you've always moved with integrity. So in a lot of ways, I feel like we thought we knew exactly who you were as an artist in a positive way. And then last year, it felt like you unlocked a whole new dimension for us. But that person, like you said, was always in there. But I'm wondering, do you still surprise yourself sometimes? Did you surprise yourself last year, or was it just us, the fans, with our jaws on the floor, just stunned?
That's a good question. Surprised myself? Nah, I don't think I surprised myself, because this, for me and for my partners that's been around me since 2005, 2006, like my brothers, they know my personality, they know my capabilities, even when it, wasn't presented to the public at first, right? So this is just like a revolving door of what I've been doing in Carson Studios, at the homie garage, or my brothers at TDE, or just anybody around the city of Compton in LA. It's just magnified to the level where I've progressed it and did enough hours to know, okay, I know where to place it now. I know how to make it connect with people.
It feels like each album, too, getting to this point was like, it was an album for the culture, and it was an album for the critics. You know what I mean? And then it would, for the critics,
Yeah.
and then GNX comes along, and it's like, nah. This is an album for anybody, everybody, and anybody who want it at any time. And you brought that energy, and the energy you brought on GNX was an energy that I don't think was really happening in hip hop. Like, it's a Public Enemy level energy. It's a Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted energy.
For sure.
Like, it's a classic, timeless energy. Talk about your headspace between Mr. Morale and this GNX.
Yeah, no, that's great. Go back even further, man. Speaking on that energy, like, it's my cousins was like DJ Quick, and Dre, these folks that my people was playing. So I always had that DNA. And you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, Mad City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? And fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time, because not only the energy was lost, but it was an energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap, just all raps and hard-ass beats. And that's like the basics for me. I thought about, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats, that's smacking, right? And it was a great transition from Mr. Morale, because that was my most intimate. I wanted to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. So during this time around, I think it was necessary of coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can spread my wings and show every state of who I am as far as Kendrick Lamar.
And you really did spread your wings. I mean, you just came off a huge Grammy wins. You walked away with 5 awards, and you won, Not Like Us won for Song and Record of the Year, which in itself is remarkable. But I think for people who love and respect hip hop and the roots of this culture, the competitive spirit of it, it has been a little bit mind-bending that you created this massive cultural award-winning anthem out of a battle rap song. And how is that something, after you got off that Grammy stage, you got home in some quiet time, what was going through your head?
I was just thinking about the culture, really. It's always that for me first. I'm not even bullshitting with you. It's like, when people talk about rap, man, the conversations I hear, they think it's just rap and it's not an actual art form. So when you put records like that at the forefront, it reminds people that this 50 years ago, they forget that it's even been here 50 years, right? And like kind of like belittle it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps, from awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about, and I feel accomplished being able to do that. You know, whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment.
Crazy, man. Yeah. And they talking about not like us, you know what I'm saying? Like that joint, it's taken so many different shapes. It's been of course distributed on a worldwide level. You know what I'm saying? It's inspired so much. Like, yeah, it got the accolades, the 5 Grammys, the music video, song of the year, record of the year, all that shit, right? But remember, this same song inspired, during a rebellion in Africa to where they turned Not Like Us into a a um a freedom anthem. You know what I'm saying? So although the song itself has reached crazy heights, you also got to think about the inspiration and the motivation that's come with it, right? It's turned into a athletic anthem. You know what I'm saying? They not like us. It's about us and it's us on this side. It's our team right here. This who we rocking with. That's our opponent over there. We finna stomp them niggas out. You know what I'm saying? So there's that part of it. Like it turned into a universal anthem almost overnight, and everybody in different walks of life have kind of internalized it in their own way. Of course, yeah, it's still the say Drake and all that stuff there, but at the same time, it still has more layers to it because that's what the culture did, and I believe that's what he's talking about when he's talking about. I'm thinking about the culture is what it means to the culture of hip hop, of rap, for all of this to take place off of a battle rap song. You can say what you want about the content of the record. You may not like that certain people got called certain names, whatever, right? We're not going to get into all of that at this moment. We've talked for a year about it, but I just appreciate how humble he is about the situation and also keeping hip hop at the forefront, because this could easily be a moment for him to be all about me. And if he was all about me and said, fuck niggas, fuck the rest of these niggas in hip hop, et cetera, don't ask me, don't reference no other nigga names, I couldn't be mad at him because of everything that transpired in the past year with the flaky way that some of hip hop's OGs, so-called legends, et cetera, have played with his name in reference to, how this played out in the past year. But he's still remaining, gracious to the culture. I appreciate that. I don't know if I would have it in me to do that, honestly, because I would seriously internalize it. It would go way beyond saying fuck niggas on the album. That's how I'd be walking around. For real, for real.
I think people often miss the significance of that Record and Song of the Year award, because that Song of the Year award is a songwriter's award. Like, it's not just the biggest song. It's like someone wrote a song. And you as a songwriter, when you see your name up there and it's written by Kendrick, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And I think to what you're saying, I think there's a lot of people who have become fans of hip hop, and they you like the songs you hear and know, but you're not actually tapped into the work that it takes for you to generate the output, the art.
Exactly, man. As a writer, and that's what I can appreciate the most. And knowing how much time I dedicated over the years in just trial and error, writing the most terrible shit to some of the greatest shit. We all do it, from writer's block to figuring out how to find inspiration from the most non-popular aspects around me. So it's like, knowing that trial and knowing what I put in as far as my thinking process and what it takes to get there, I do not look at it as a small endeavor because it's a hit record. No, it's actually some writing in that shit. Whether it connect with you on a spiritual level, whether they connect with you on a comedic level, whether they connect with you just on a personal dynamic. It's still from a writer's point of view.
Yeah, you are an incredible writer. There are songs on GNX like Reincarnated. I didn't know what to do with that song for the first few times I heard of it, just trying to figure out where you possibly came up with the inspiration for a record like that. Like, when you're working on those songs, are you going through multiple versions until the right thing comes to you? It's hard to fathom, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, records like that, first off, shout out to Tupac. That's the number one inspiration. That was always one of my favorite records from him and Outlaws. With records like that, it's always going into my mind of like, what if, right? And crafting out my what if ideas to the masses. So when I think about concepts and I think about what I actually believe and what I feel, I just go through a breakdown as if I'm reading a book, you know, and how I want people to hear this from a book sequence. So my initial process is, okay, how can I open them up to the story? And how can I drive them to the ending point to make them feel truly exactly what I'm trying to convey, whether they take their own perspective from it or they take mine. I just want you to feel it first. You know, the writing is there, now it's up to me to perform it to where you can feel it.
Yo, give it up for this guy, Kendrick Lamar. Y'all too quiet, man. This guy, you know, this guy he doesn't sit down and do this too often, so this is a very special conversation. We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it,
I really do. And shout to SZA too, because you guys are making history
man.
right now.
Hell
and,
yeah.
and you've seen her from her humble beginnings like she's seen you from your humble beginnings. You've watched her find success, and now y'all sharing the stage at the Super Bowl. This humongous tour that's rolling out next year. Talk about this moment in both of y'all's career. Have you guys had a chance to even see each other in this moment and be like, yo, like?
We haven't even had a chance to crash out about it because everything been moving fast, like far as production and rehearsals and stuff. So we speak, but we haven't really got a chance to settle into the moment. For me personally, watching her, her career and where she's come from, it's amazing to see. I get to finally see how certain individuals see me come up in the process, because I seen her day one coming in the studio and writing songs, throwing away songs, writing another song, throwing away songs, and songs is hard. And I understood that process, though, wanting to be great. You know, even when people saying, this is classic records, you're like, no, I'm gonna write another one. And I understood that and I seen it, so to see it now magnified, it's like, she always had it, man. She always had it, and I'm just honored to be next to a talent.
Yeah, you've both worked really hard to be here in this moment, and on Heart Part 6 is really amazing to hear you detail that journey for old and new fans, coming up through the ranks at TDE and now launching your own agency, PG Lang. So performing at the Super Bowl halftime show is very much, us as fans getting to celebrate you and this beautiful musical legacy, but also now you're stepping out as an entrepreneur. What has it been like to build your own business and to also showcase some of that creativity from your agency on this platform?
Oh, man, I love the process. Shout out to PG Lang. Make some noise with PG Lang. Yeah, that's my team, man. It's 30 incredible individuals, 5 extraordinary executives that work day in, day out to make sure we are doing something that will long live the culture. From a music standpoint, from a creative standpoint, fashion, film, books, day in, day out of just being around like-minded individuals that have different perspectives outside of just music. So through that process, it was a challenge for me, but even more a process of me enjoying, different ideas and different backgrounds and how to look at things. I love it. Being on calls and, formulating business ideas and ventures outside of my usual norm, it challenges me. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I know it's gonna happen next.
Another thing about, going off, creating your own company, creating your own agency, delving into the different lanes that they have from music, fashion, television, production, and all of those different things is a lot of artists go off and launch companies or labels and things of that nature, but you don't know if it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Some of the biggest artists out there have launched labels that have not been successful, or gone into different ventures that have not been successful, that they invested millions of dollars into and it did not yield the proper results. They might have went in debt investing into these things, and they got they five person team together, and it's evolved into something else. You know what I'm saying? Just going back to like when it was Kendrick, Dave Free doing the Little Homies with the music video ideas, you know what I'm saying? And how they excelled in pushing the game forward in terms of visuals. Like, remember, we came from an era before Kendrick really like honed in on music videos, and we're talking about hip hop especially, where it was all just run and gun shit. Go down to the city, go down to the park, and that's still like part of the era, right? There's still an essence to that. Go down to the city, go down to a park, your homie's apartment, you know what I'm saying? Get your people together, and we just gonna run and gun this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch you coming outside the deli. Boom, 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 bam, bam. We got 5 minutes to get this shit right for the folks, you know, come around this bitch. You feel me? So every endeavor that they've walked into, they've been successful at it. They put a lot of energy into it and a lot of intentionality into how they move. And the crazy thing is, the way that the battle panned out this year, it seemed like, I gotta throw his name in here, it seemed like Drake really wanted to kind of dismember that. He wanted to blow that thing up by trying to say that Kendrick's child was Dave Freeze. Like, what type of shit was that? You know what I'm saying? But again, it was an underhanded thing to like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to blow that up. I don't like y'all being successful. I don't like y'all having that thing over there that y'all could do. You could go off and leave your label and start a new label and start a new company, and y'all get to do these TV commercials and y'all get to collaborate with all these brands. Nah, how can I fuck up that unit? How can I fuck up that unity? And it wasn't successful. And now they're on the biggest fucking possible stage, taking PG Lang with production credits on the Super Bowl. How you like them apples?
Yeah.
We can.
I think for the audience too, you know, and anybody watching around the world, the PG Lang thing is, you know, I think people see you as an artist and someone who makes music, but I don't know if you want to share it today, but the level of detail that you yourself, along with Dave and shout to the whole PG Lang team, but y'all as friends that came up together, you in the edits. Like, what we're gonna see on Sunday is a PG Lang production.
Yes, that's all PG Lang. That is us sitting day in, day out, from the edits, the production, the stage design, the music, the sound tech. It's everything across the board, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of creative individuals. I can't sit here and say it's all me, because these are people that are just as passionate and want to see us win, but also want to put out something that lives a long, long time. And with Dave's creative mind, it's just, he's insane, man. That dude is like Basquiat in so many different fashions. You know, you can clearly pick his brain about anything, and he'll give you an answer right down the middle to help you decide for yourself. So that's something I can always appreciate.
Yeah, I'd say with all of your powers combined, y'all are really diabolical. Like, when you roll out the videos, all the visuals for GNX, just the way you all move strategically together, it is inspiring beyond the music. You know, just thinking about how to approach life and art in a holistic way. And so when it came down to planning for this Super Bowl now, you know, you've teased on the album coming up to New Orleans with this LA energy. How did you guys approach the show and trying to figure out how to pay tribute to the classics in your catalog with this new music in like a 13-minute set list?
Yeah, it's wild. Mr. Morale is like an hour and 30-minute tour, so it's like you gotta smack the shit down all the way to 13 minutes. It's kind of wild, and it's interesting because it lets you know kind of where you at, and your perspective on how you think about cataloging the music. For me, I love being present. I love being present, man. It's my favorite. It's very hard for me to live in the past. It's very hard. I respect the past wholeheartedly, but being in the now and being just locked into how I feel and the energy I have now, that's the LA energy for me. That's something that I want to carry over to New Orleans and for the world to see. This is me, this is Kendrick Lamar, 37 years old, and I still feel like I'm elevating. I'm still on the journey though, you know? And I want that energy to, ooze out into the televisions and to the people that's in that building.
Well, and on that, the connection between black culture and New Orleans and how important and shaping our ancestors were in this town, music, jazz, all that. You always put our culture and black culture at the forefront of your brand, your music. Same thing in LA. A lot of our family members moved out to California from the South for new opportunities.
Man, what?
So there's a big connection between LA and the South. So when you say you walked in to New Orleans with that LA etiquette and all of that, I don't know if people really grasp that, but you got to be feeling that energy.
That's a bar.
Like when you are out ready on Sunday to do your thing.
That's a bar. It's crazy, bro. Out of all my friends, LA, us growing up, all our grandparents either from Louisiana, Texas, Chicago, like, period. So our dialect and how we talk, it gauges from like the South and like the Bay Area. So like going to the store, we say finna. I'm finna go to the store. Like that's some South shit, you know what I'm saying? That's not no LA, right? So that energy right there and you making that correlation, it means a lot to me for people to understand that. And the culture and just being black, I can't help that, man. It's just not something that I think about or even try to like go, I'm black. Shit, it's just go.
It's in you, it's not on you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out every time. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't downplay it. I'm at a point in my life, I can't necessarily fake the funk for nothing. And I've always had an essence of that, but you have kids and shit. That shit's like, I have to be who I am authentically. And if, the world can't accept that, then so be it. But who rocking with it, I'm gonna put it all the way out there, whether it's in private or whether it's on the main stage.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people and a lot of artists stand in themselves as authentically as you have. And I think one of the questions we've all been wrestling with over the past few months, watching you and the way you've moved, is really what is the role of an artist? And I think lots of people have very different definitions, but young Kendrick, again, back to overly dedicated and Section 80 mixtape Kendrick, and GNX Kendrick, Super Bowl, Grammys Kendrick, has your idea of what the role of an artist is, you as an artist, has that ever changed?
I don't think I knew exactly what my role was early on. I had maybe clues of it, but now today I can truly say it's to express myself and express things that people can necessarily say on the daily and for them to actually relate to. And come from the most vulnerable place where people can actually feel it. I think that is, for me, that's the role for me as an artist. I don't give a fuck what place it come from. I could be the most angry person on the record. You go feel that shit that day if you woke up and you felt that. You want to smile, you gonna feel it because I'm gonna make sure I'm present that particular time in the studio, in the booth, that I feel happy and I feel energized and I feel, if I feel frustrated, you gonna feel it.
I think that's an interesting point from Kendrick because a through line in Kendrick's career, and even like before the fame, before all the accolades, before all the everything, the hype, etc., the big thing that's always been a part of Kendrick's story is his voice. How his voice comes across on a mic, how he sounds in the booth. You know what I'm saying? I remember early on mixtape Kendrick, Kendrick Lamar EP OD days, when he was getting that blog love and his name was circulating online, people would say, he can rap, but what about his voice? His voice throw me off a little bit. I can't get into his voice. You know what I'm saying? And then as he continued to evolve and getting into his actual album discography, commercial discography with if you want to count Section 80, that's cool. But really when you get into Good Kid, Mad City, and the alien voice or the screaming voice, like we heard iterations of that mustard on Backseat Freestyle. Nigga, it's go time. I'm running over the bhutan and I'm running. You know what I'm saying? Like the usage of his voice over the years, and each song, it's like a different layer to like, all right, what's he gonna do on this song? You know what I'm saying? When he tries to sing or he does his melodic shit or whatever it is, he's not lying that you're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? Even if sometimes it may come across as comical the first time you hear it, but then that shit gets stuck in your head. You find yourself doing that same shit when you're around the house. You know what I mean? So he's absolutely right in that his music definitely invokes feeling, where other people's music might invoke, strictly like dancing, or other folks' music might strictly invoke like anger, because that's their brand at all times. It's just like gruff gangster shit, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. Some people, they just make you dance, wave your hands, you know what I mean? But with him, if you go through his entire discography, especially the albums, the commercially released albums, like there's so many different voices, so many different ways he conveys himself throughout the years. He ain't lying when he's talking about feeling. And not every artist has the ability to make you feel them on a molecular level.
And to carry that as an inspiration for people that's listening that may not have a voice, that, I've grew up with cats, still to this day can't have a conversation. The most meanest, aggressive individuals, but they can't even look you in the eye and express themselves the way they want to. So they resort to other things. And when I think about that, and I know that I have the tools necessary to communicate myself properly and effectively, I gotta do it for them. I gotta make records like Reincarnated. I gotta make records like Man in the Garden. I have to, because they feel that way, but they cannot project it. And when they hear somebody actually giving them affirmations, it allows them to speak more freely and be open, because, again, I come from the same place they come from.
Wow, Kendrick, we might not see you outside again soon after Super Bowl. I know, of course, you have the GNX tour. Listen, I know you also don't love doing interviews, but we are grateful. We're so grateful for all the music and the moments that you've given us over 15 years. And in the last year, your presence and your focus, it is noted. So thank you. We really appreciate it. Thanks for taking our questions.
Thanks for fighting for hip-hop, man.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you for fighting for hip-hop.
It is really appreciated.
Appreciate y'all.
And now, we have some questions.
Some kids are gonna ask
from our
questions.
kid
But I got one more thing for you, Kendrick. Before we go to our friend here, Hayes Adler, what should people expect to see and understand about Sunday's performance?
Storytelling. I think I've always been very open about storytelling through all my catalog and my history of music. And I've always had a passion about bringing that on whatever stage I'm on, whether it's a war tour or whether it's 500 people at Key Club. I've always had a form of that. So I like to always carry on that sense of, make people listen, but also see and think a little.
I think this is going to be one of those performances where people are going to be digging up Easter eggs for
That's the Kendrick
years
thing,
to come, right?
Even when it's not an Easter egg, people gonna make one up, right, Ken? Hayes, this is Hayes Adler. He's got a question for you,
What's up,
Kendrick.
man?
Hi, Kendrick.
What's going on?
How do you prepare for such a big performance? Do you have a favorite way to stay healthy and active?
Yeah, I do some laps, whether it's some sprints. If we talking about, let's go from, on a physical level, I give you that. Maybe it's a 2-mile warm-up or a mile warm-up, maybe some push-ups, just to get the body movement. Sometimes you be out.
Drop it, give me 50, drop. Hey, man, doing some more push-ups, nigga. More push-ups, nigga. I've been composing myself well this whole time. I had to get one out.
On that stage, man, it take you need some oil on your knees a little bit to get moving and get cranky. So physically, yeah, I'm just exercising the body, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of all that. And on a mental level, I'm usually playing some Isley Brothers just to calm my, not my nerves, but calm my excitement and just give it a balance, you know? So that's my prep right before I go out.
Thank you, Hayes. Thank you so much. And now,
Hey man, that nigga been very consistent with that Isley Brothers. He been on some Isley Brothers shit for like his whole career down there. We saw, I mean, even the collab with you know, I love myself, like getting them on there. What ain't it a Drink Champs clip going viral right now with Ron Isley talking about Kendrick Lamar, like crazy.
now Alvin Williams. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Kendrick?
What's up, man?
I'm a little with Big Brother and Big Sister New Orleans. What has mentorship meant to you during the course of your career? And if you could thank your mentors for believing in you, what would you say?
Oh man, mentorship has been everything. To be around individuals that experienced every little thing that you think that you're the first person to go through it with it's a difficult task when you're a young individual because you're like, shit, you don't know what you're talking about. But as you progress and you be like, damn, he or she was right, you begin to understand life a little bit better and not be so judgmental to people that have been here before you, right? The greatest thing I would say mentors, a couple mentors that given me was like affirmation and to always give myself space to believe in who I am, even when I wasn't feeling it, right? You can accomplish so many small things or big things and you still can fall in a slump where you doubt yourself. And even though these mentors haven't seen the spaces and been in the places I've been in, it was always time to allow me to share exactly who I am or how they see me and what I'm capable to give to the world. And I think that goes a long way, from people in the highest places and the lowest places. We all need them.
Big mother effing facts. Not to take this somewhere else, but I just want to kind of double down on that, man. Like positive self-talk and negative self-talk are like huge things, you know what I mean? Based on how you view yourself, how you see yourself, or even momentarily from different parts of the day, how you allow yourself to think of yourself, your surroundings, the things that you have around you, you know what I mean? Like you can definitely manifest positivity into your life. You can definitely bring good aura and energy into your situation just by expressing those things during times where things may be difficult. Like the world could be fucking melting down around you, but if you can hone in and lock in and find something positive to reinforce within yourself, give yourself a goal to attain and say, I'm finna get that shit, I'm finna meet that shit, I'm finna smash this endeavor that I have in front of me. Like, and you can interpret that in so many ways. It could be a fucking, you could have nothing. You could have ramen noodles in the fucking kitchen and it's like, damn, I ain't been down to ramen noodles in fucking years. And you say, you know what? I'm finna make something out of these motherfucking ramen noodles. I'm finna goddamn come up with a recipe right now. I'm finna make this shit the best fucking ramen noodles I had in my life. And then you gonna turn around and do something. You gonna flip it. You gonna get your seasonings out. You gonna sauce it up. You know what I mean? And you like, damn, that shit was busting, nigga. That might be. I might have to add that to my, if not weekly, my monthly little rotation. Cause I was just down and out. Shit got too real. Some unexpected shit took place. I'm down to motherfucking ramen noodles, and I done turned this shit into ramenuski. You feel me? So I know I'm being lighthearted in jest, but on some real shit, like that's something to take with you if you haven't been in that space recently. Like get back into speaking positively to yourself, giving yourself them affirmations, and it don't have to be them affirmations that you see on social media, the same shit to tell you to look in the mirror. I am great. I am smart. I am you. That's cool too. I'm not downplaying that, but there's other ways, and however you got to do it, just like prayer. You know what I mean? You ain't got to talk to God in terms of thee, thy, thou, you know what I'm saying? You could go, hey, homie, hey, God, what's happening up there, man? I'm going through it right now. I need something. I need a breakthrough. What you got for me? I ain't trying to be selfish or nothing. I know it's billions of people on this earth, but I need you. You know what I'm saying? I need you to help me exercise my patience. Help me get through this day. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a crunch right now. I got something going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's being real about the situation. It's being like expression, which is another through line in this interview, is talking about self-expression and being honest and real, but also just reinforcing good things. Because negativity is so accessible now, more so than I've ever experienced in my life. Negativity, even when I do these videos and have conversations with y'all, you know what I'm saying? No matter how positive I am, there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to challenge something I said that I don't even be feeling need to be challenged. But it's like, you know what? Let me go the other way. Let me focus on something else. Focus on loving on my family. I'm a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of been my thing lately, is like, once I'm done talking to y'all, I see my folks in the chat. I see my regulars here, which I greatly appreciate y'all. Once I check in with the regulars, I go to my family. I tap out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know on the other side of this, as my platform grows, more people are gonna want to be negative. That's kind of like how they get attention. That's what they want to stand out. They want to be the smart one in the room. I ain't got to be the smart one in the room. I'm just here. You know what I mean? I'm here to enjoy an experience. But I'm gonna get it back to Kendrick. Let him finish up. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alvin. And we have one more question from young Dylan.
What's up, Mr. Kendrick Lamar?
There you go. That's
Yes, sir.
an artist right there.
Yes, sir. It's a truly honor to meet you. And my question I have for you is, what advice could you give to kids about not being like anyone else? And how could they stay authentic while pursuing your path?
It's a great question. They said the number one thing people feel in the room, over love and over fear is being authentic. And this is my homegirl, Ink, actually, we was talking about this in the studio. She brought us in the studio. And I was like, damn, how many times I've been in a room where people felt you so intensely that it inspired them, and it inspired the person next to them, and inspired the people in their household. So how to stay authentic? Was that the question? Or you have to believe in yourself and have to know that it's only one you. You're an amazing individual, unique. You're a miracle. I wake up every day and I'm like, this shit is crazy. Not crazy from a standpoint of being a celebrity, crazy, just life. It's just wild. When you really sit down and just think about it and just bug out on some wild it's wild. And to know that you are in this existence and in this world as one individual, is only you, you have to know that you got to carry that authentic nature of allowing yourself to say, this is who I am, this is how people are going to see me, and also going to respect me, and it's going to inspire people to have truth. Because when everyone's authentic, what comes out of that is true love. There's no boundaries. We don't have any courtship on judgment. We don't have any perception of being able to ridicule anyone, because you showing up as your true self, I'm showing up as my true self. And carrying that nature, it take you places. Appreciate
His
you.
answers are just as thoughtful as in the music. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Kendrick.
Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the great Kendrick Lamar, please. Thank you so much for your work and your dedication.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Appreciate
Go out there
y'all.
and have fun on Sunday. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We can't wait to see Kendrick take the Super Bowl halftime show stage. While you wait, you can listen to his catalog in spatial audio.
Now look, shortly after the performance, you'll be able to stream the full halftime show right there on Apple Music. You can listen, you can watch, you can sing, all the things Kendrick all the time on Apple Music. So one more time, for all of you, Kendrick Lamar, thank you for delivering as usual. The show on Sunday is gonna be special and amazing, I'm positive. Thank you all so much.
right. And that was the Apple Music NFL interview with Kendrick Lamar. It ended up being about 30 minutes. Once you add in commentary and all that, we stretched it out. We got it to about an hour. That was not intentional, by the way. I was just saying what was on my spirit. But very good interview, dope interview. I appreciate them for kind of tiptoeing their way into like seeing what his mind frame was in the battle, in the creation of GNX, and in the creation of all of everything that he's put out in the last year. I'm glad he was transparent enough to like, just be honest and real. I think it was solid, right? Especially this is NFL. We're not talking about no. This is Super Bowl coming up, so you definitely got to still keep it friendly to the crowd, which is filled with families, children, and stuff. Kids looking up to him, and I appreciate them allowing the Little Brother program to ask questions, because that's what it's also for, is inspiration to the youth, the whole nine. From what I can see, there's another interview that will be airing tomorrow morning with Kendrick and Timothy Chalamet. I believe that's going to be on the NFL Network or something like that. I don't know, but that's what I've been seeing, is that there's another interview coming. It looks like they're kind of like out and about. Are they in, I don't know if they're in Cali or if they're in New Orleans. But there is some more Kendrick content coming before he takes the stage at the Super Bowl. That's what we do have on hand. Let me see, based on information that's in front of me. Yeah, that's all I got right now. But yeah, salute to Kendrick. I can't wait to see what he performs at the Super Bowl, how he breaks down that 13-minute performance. I'm wondering if he's going to stick to 13 minutes, or is he going to get closer to 15, get an extra song or two in there just for the culture. You feel me? But again, I salute him, man. And just for staying dedicated to the craft all this time, still presenting at a high level, still being at the highest level all these years later, because a lot of motherfuckers have fallen off. A lot of motherfuckers fall off. And to be honest, I foresee some motherfuckers falling off furthermore going deeper into this year and going into next. It's just a part of the game. It's part of the nature of the business. But him still being here at the highest level, doing what he does, still shouting out people that inspire him giving all that love to battle rap, to Murder Mood, Loaded Lux, Daylight, Tay Rock. Like, these are names that you would never hear on a Super Bowl stage or a Super Bowl affiliated stage from no other artist. No other rapper would have got up there and shouted those names out and said that they inspire him. He definitely wouldn't. Ain't too many other motherfuckers that was gonna get up there and talk about URL TV and Smack. You feel me? So that's crazy promo for them. I can't wait to see how this impacts them, right? Because some people are gonna be curious and go look those names up and go look up those battles and look up their music. I'm looking forward to seeing like what this performance on Sunday does for Kendrick's catalog. And I can't go without stating how big this Super Bowl thing is for Apple Music. Spotify tends to be the primary streaming platform that gets all the press and all of the talk and all of the metrics. And even when people talk about the most streamed artists and all that stuff, they're typically referring exclusively to Spotify numbers, right? But I haven't seen Spotify endorsing or being like the media correspondent for a Super Bowl or anything of that level. So I don't think that should be overlooked either, you know what I'm saying? Because I can only imagine how much impact the Apple Music streams are going up for a Kendrick and everybody that's associated with him and all of that type of stuff. And you just know it's a lot of big money on the table with this shit too. A lot of big money. All right. But y'all let me know what y'all think of the interview down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I love having conversations like these. We might be back tomorrow with another conversation very similarly. I don't know what the context of this interview with Timothy's going to be, but I'll be on the lookout for it. It's going to be dropping in the morning. So y'all stay tuned for that. And I'll probably be back shortly with some more content. All right. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace. king of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.